Yo, what up, people? Listen, welcome to another episode of the Shooters Podcast, where we go over the business of photography and videography because we know that's what most people are struggling with. So, let's jump right in. Do I got a trash segment? Yeah, I do. I guess this whole subject is about having a trash segment or a trash topic. Okay, so it's been maybe these past couple of weeks, man. It's been it's been weird, right? I mean, one, you got trolls on one end, and then you also have another end of people that are stuck where they are, and they don't. I guess they don't ask for help because of a lot of pride issues. Okay, so I guess the trash segment would be shouts out to the pride. Okay, if you're a photographer and videographer and you have pride issues, meaning you don't want to learn from someone who has already done it, right? Who's already been to the place where you actually want to be, that's pride. And I feel like you should go ahead and let that go, okay? Because when you're in a place where you're stuck and you're like, all right, I want to be able to get better, I want to be able to do more, and there is people or a person, maybe me, out there that can actually help you, and you don't want to ask for help, man, that's actually pride. I say that because I actually had pride years ago, especially in my marriage. 10 years ago, right? I don't know what it was. Could have been my pops. Who knows, right? But I was a person, and I was in a place where I didn't necessarily want to ask for help because I felt like I can do everything myself. So my wife, which is my girlfriend at the time, it'll be multiple things that go on. I'm like, no, I got it. I figure it out, and I'll be in my room, depressed, trying to figure it out, and never figure it out. And just be down on myself whenever things don't work out the way I wanted to. When I could have just asked for help, got the shortcut, and got there as quickly as I needed to. Okay, so So let me give you a couple examples, or one example of what this actually. First of all, let me go and tell you the name of this episode. I actually got somebody inspired this episode on my ad. I'm gonna tell you what it's called. Okay, it's called Run Your Race and Get a Coach to Help You with Speed. Oh my God, it's funny to me. I don't know why that's funny. Here's what I mean, right? So I was talking to someone, a friend of mine that's in I guess film production, photography, videography, whatever. And they were trying to figure out how to, this is most people too, a lot of people just trying to figure out, like, how do I stop using the camera? Like, how can I put the camera down and just like automate, delegate everything else? And you're sitting in front of someone who's actually done that. You should just ask them. But they decided not to, right? So I don't know whether they wanted me to offer it. I don't know what the situation was, but it's like, we're just like kind of talking all around, and it's like, need some help, or you want me to help with that, or what you want to do? Okay. They decided not to, and just went on about their way, and then and just continue to be in the same place that they've always been, trying to figure it out. Okay. So I recommend, like, put your pride to the side. If you need help, ask it. I do. I ask people. I don't know everything. I'm like, how do you do this? Help me. See what I'm saying? So that's that. Now let's get into the meat and potatoes. Here we go. All right. So I got an ad running right now that's showing people the 10 secrets of photography and videography. And what it is it's showing you the 10 steps that I didn't necessarily know when I was first starting out. So depending on where you are, I can almost guarantee there's at least one of these steps that you're missing or that you need. Okay. So regardless of where you are in your photography and videography space, if you see this ad video and you actually click on it, you may need 2, 3, 5, you may need all of them, but you're going to need at least one. Okay. So, if you got value from these 10 steps, right, then if you feel like you need more help or extra help, you can actually go to my actual Shooters Camp page and actually schedule a call to see if you qualify to be able to be one of my students or mentees in my class. Okay. If not, it's all good. It's free. I'm paying for advertising. It's whatever. It's for some people who need it and want to actually go to the next level, or for some people who don't. It doesn't matter to me. Okay. So, but let's go ahead and go over the actual this actual comment that was very interesting to me today. All right, so let me see if I can find it. Okay, so first of all, there's when if you ever start running ads, it's gonna be a lot of trolls on your page. So don't get offended by anybody who is like trolling or like it's a weird thing. I was going live not too long ago, and I had somebody go on there talking about, hey, I mean, out of nowhere, it'd be like, where are these people coming from, right? So came out of nowhere saying like, hey, you know what? I have made 100,000, whatever. I'm working 16-hour days, and I'm like, yeah, you made 100,000, but you showed it. You worked plenty hard to get it, buddy, right? And I'm talking on this live. I'm actually talking about how you can actually make money without stressing yourself out, putting systems in place, putting things like that. And he's talking about, yeah, I made 100,000, but you know, I don't have no systems in place. Brother, we know. Head it closer to the mic. We can tell how many hours you're working. You're about to die. Okay. The whole reason for us being an entrepreneur, because we want to have time and want to have freedom to be able to make money, but also enjoy life. Okay. So, but what happened when I was on the live and I was kind of asking about, hey, well, how about let's jump on the live. Let's actually talk face to face. There's people on here. Let's talk face to face. He never did it. I said, well, okay, let's not, because I don't want to embarrass you. You might not want to embarrass yourself. So maybe send me a DM. Let's kind of talk in the messages, right? I told him just send me a screenshot of like your actual funds, your profit and loss statement, whatever, you know what I mean? Let's say, I don't need to see your whole bank account, but it's like, let's see it, right? Refresh it, like people say, or roll it back and refresh. Let me see if that's your actual numbers. Because if it is, I would like to see what strategies you use. Maybe you can help someone else. Who knows, right? But a lot of times I do that because most people, they don't do it, right? I want to know, is there somebody else? That'll be cool, because then we could do a live together. We can do some other stuff together. We can build. Who knows? But he never did it. Why is that? People just troll. People want attention. People are upset with the place of where they are in life. And I can't help that. I can help as much as I can through my class, through live videos, through free content. But anything else outside of that has everything to do with you, right? And I can't fix that. Okay. So just the fact that he's like, oh yeah, I'm not gonna just didn't do it, just disappeared. And I was like, I just added him to the block party. Okay. So anyway, let's get right into it. This right here was interesting. And most of the time I don't really have time, but for this, I was sometimes comments come up, some troll comments, I'm very like intrigued. I was like, this is interesting. I would love to keep this conversation going. So I got time today. So he comes on here. He says, anyone who uses the word shoot to describe his picture is not a photographer. They are an entrepreneur. I was like, what's wrong with being an entrepreneur? Aren't you an entrepreneur? What's wrong with that? So I'm like, I want to know I love asking questions to find out what are people's like mindset, like what are their thought process behind stuff. So I go in there and then I go in to ask them. I said, I'm definitely an entrepreneur. Aren't you? And then I put like I don't know. What are we talking? Are we agreeing? Are we fussing? What's happening right now? I need to find, this is a disagreement? Is that what this is? I'm confused. So then he says, no, I'm a photographer that had dedicated his it's supposed to be life, dedicated his life to the craft to only be let down and outdone by shooters. And he put it in quotes. I'm not a photographer that had, I'm not an entrepreneur. I'm not an entrepreneur, but I'm a photographer that had dedicated his life to the craft to only be let down and outdone by shooters. So I'm like, outdone? You mean like, oh no, he said let down. First said let down. So let down, you mean like you try to delegate some tasks and some shooters didn't do what you asked them to do? Is that what you mean? And then it goes to outdone. I'm like, outdone by shooters? Now it's two different things. You outdone, you mean like people are doing better than you? Like me? Is that what it is? I need you to elaborate. I'm trying to find out, what is your thought process? What is your logic? I'm confused. And then then I messaged back and I said, I'm not understanding the logic. So you're just a photographer? Because if you're a photographer and a videographer, you should be more than that, right? A lot of people say if you're a videographer, you say you should be a filmmaker, right? You should be a business owner, whatever that looks like, to be able to know that that's not just your title, right? Sometimes you're a producer, sometimes you do multiple things, okay? So especially like you do the lighting, you do everything, right? So you're more than just a photographer or a videographer. But regardless, so anyway, so you're just a photographer. I said, do you make money? Right? Because if you make money, you have an LLC and a bank account. That means you're a business owner. You got a business, fam. That's a business. I said, do you make money? Like own a photography business, etc. Like this coming to you? Hello, is this making sense? Does this sound familiar? Okay. And then I said, are you better than an entrepreneur / shooter? Because I'm trying to see, is that the argument? Are you saying like I'm better? Like I'm trying to tell you that I'm better than you or whatever. So I'm like, are you saying you're better than an entrepreneur / shooter? I'm not understanding. I said, please elaborate. I'm confused. Okay. And then he goes on to say, no, I don't make money. Right there from the rip, that right there is the issue. Before I even read anything else, that right there is an issue alone. Before I even read the rest of this comment, when you don't, it's an issue. That's why you have to run your own race. When you don't make money, one, and two, especially when you feel like I've been working this long and I feel like I deserve it, right? And then somebody just seems like they just pop out of nowhere, right? Why are they so successful? Why are they more successful than me? Why am I not, further along? Why haven't I passed them and ran laps around them already? But there's an issue. So I teach my students, and I understand they want to find passion and all this other stuff. You want to, man, it is cold in here. Wait a minute. Can you turn AC off? Yes. Let's go and turn off. It is freaking, what is happening? I mean, I should be heating up, but daggone, cold in this thing. All right. So let me get back to it. So I tell my students, say, listen, my goal is to help my students make anywhere from between 2 to 10K a month. Think about it. When you're making, $100,000 a year, regardless, you're not rich, but you're able to. It alleviates a lot of stress. Most people make $100,000 a year. They're not trolling on anybody's pages because they don't have time. You're a little bit more happy about the things that you do and the decision that you make in life. Okay, you're able to you're able to go places where you want to go. You have a little more freedom. If your mom need a wash and dry or something, you get to pay for it for her. Your wife want to go to Mexico, whatever. You can do all types of stuff. Right now, you're not rich, but it relieves a little bit of stress. Okay. When you have a little bit more money. That's why I tell people, I don't understand, I'm trying to find my passion, whatever. If you focus on the money, I promise you, once you get, I'm not telling you start chasing bags. What I'm saying is when you have a predictable income every month and it's more than what you expected, you're getting 6, 7, 8, 10 grand a month, your conversations start to change. The people you talk to, that change. The how you carry yourself and what you surround who the people you surround yourself with, all those things change when you start making a little more money. So this helps with your mindset, because in order for you to get money, you have to change your mindset first. It's all like a tenfold. It's a whole strategy, because you have to get your mindset to start making money. So if you're making money, we already know that your mindset is already shifted for you to actually make this type of money. So anyway, let's get back to this. He said, no, I don't make money. I said, after it, because he was honest. It hit me. I was like, dang. I was already like, I know where you're coming from. I can imagine that feeling that you have right now. Okay. This is not like a hater. This is like envy. Okay. So anyway, he says, do you shoot in manual mode or automatic? You gotta hit them with the really, dude. Man, it's like if you're going to like threaten people, at least try to or try to have a debate. At least have something more than manual and automatic. To be honest, if you actually click on the actual 10 secrets, that was actually my secret number one. Shooting in manual mode. But it was cute. You shoot manual and automatic. So now it's even worse because now he's imagining how much I suck and how how great he is, more than me. Do you shoot in manual or automatic? Do you even know what BDE is? I'm gonna be honest. No, I don't. I don't know what BDE is. You got me there, brother. I said, matter of fact, while we here, let's look it up, shall we? BDE. Let's just see. I'm gonna type in something here. I'm gonna type in BDE. I'm gonna type in camera because I don't know how it's gonna come up. All right. So BDE, I don't know. Brigades. Okay, that can't be it. He might be making up something here. Is that a brigade camera system manual? Is that what that is? Okay, y'all let me know in the comments if it's what the heck is BDE. Let me just say. Let me type it in. What is? He got me there. What is BDE for camera? Let me see that. Okay, here we go. Basic daylight exposure tells you that the proper exposure in digital photography for a front lit subject is f16 with a shutter of ISO 100. That's a 1 over the ISO in use. As long as your subject isn't white or black, the exposure should be great. I'm not gonna lie, I've never used BDE. That's a hack. So listen, how to actually take great images, how to blow up in photography and videography without using BDE. The terminology. It's the terminology for me. That's dope, man. It's a BDE rule. So for you guys who don't know, it's basic daylight exposure. Yeah. Good to know. BDE. Okay. So that's BDE. He said the logic is I'm pissed because I've spent, I don't know why he's upset all of a sudden. Like what happened? I'm over here. That's an ad video I recorded a while ago. Why is he upset? Regardless. The logic is I'm pissed because I've spent $17,000 in schooling. How much did you spend? I spent time, brother. It took me 10 years to get here. I spent time. Okay. 17,000 in schooling. What, over 4 years? I'm not sure. I can say this. I spent 16,000 in coaching this year. Okay. If you want to talk about where I started on YouTube, right? I was editing every day for 3 months, 12 to 16 hours every single day for 3 months straight. Okay. So I guess equate how much time is that? And then 6 years trying to figure it out. Finally quit my job. I sacrificed almost everything, it felt like. Okay. So I might can't say I went to a school and spent 17,000, but I can promise you I spent and sacrificed way more than 17 grand. So let's keep going. And said, because I spent 17K in schooling, how much did you spend? And then he goes on to say, to be outdone by somebody who has a camera. What do we say to that? How do we respond? What do we do? to be outdone by somebody who has a camera. That has to hurt for somebody like him. Because if he used this philosophy, run your own race, right? And get a coach to help you with speed. Regardless if you get a coach to help you with speed, you can just focus on running your own race. If seeing things on social media upsets you, you shouldn't be on social media. Because everybody on social media shows the glitz, the glamour. But it's very few that talks about the struggles and the sacrifice it took for them to get here. Okay. So, meaning a lot of times people get the theory of social media, it's not even real. So if you see someone that you feel like, man, this person is not even shooting in manual. This person doesn't know what BD is. This person doesn't even whatever. Without doing your proper research, right? You're putting yourself in a depressing state because you are believing in something that may not necessarily be true anyway. It doesn't matter whether I know what I know. I never even said, well, I guess I kind of did. Well, no, I just kind of talked about, in the ad, I talked about how I retired my wife and all this other stuff. So I guess you would assume then that I would have money. But I mean, all that could have been a lie. Who knows? Right? But if you focus on running your own race, things won't necessarily upset you. Just know that it took me 10 years to get here. It may take him 20. It may take him 3. So everyone has their own, their own position, their own role. You have your own race to run. You can't run mine for me, right? You don't want the things that I have or the things that I had because you don't know what I had to go through to get it. Okay. A lot of people are like, oh man, I want to retire my wife too. I want to be able to do it. So I said, okay, great. You can have all these things, but you have to do everything that I did, probably more. You got to ask yourself, do you want those sacrifices? Do you want those burdens? Do you want those things on you? If not, then run your own race. I'm not telling you can't have the same things I have. You can have similar things or more. You just have a different race to run. Okay? So you can't compare your race to someone else's. Okay? It's not fair to you. It's also not fair to God. Because God already created he done created the whole lane for you. So I boom. I create this track for you. You can do all this. We're going to run. You're going to go through these leaps and valleys and all this other stuff. You're going to pass the baton off. We're going to do all this. And then you up here, you off the field. You want somebody else field. Looking at them. God, like, how'd you even get over there? Where'd you get? Nah, I just drove over here. I seen what they was doing up here running. God, like, okay, I built this whole track over here. This is your track over here. Now I'm trying to see what they doing over here. You done drove, the race don't start. You done drove over there. You at somebody else's track meet, doing the most, being nosy. Now, also went on to say to get you a coach to help you with speed. Okay. I ran track for a little bit. Notice I said a little bit. Play football, did all these things, wrestling. And you have a coach that helps you with getting faster, getting stronger, conditioning, all these different things. The coach can actually help you with speed. So if you're in a place where you are, you're not in a place where you want to be, there's education that helps you get there in a short amount of time. You want to ask yourself, are you constantly learning? If you stop learning, you stop growing. So I say all that to say, if you want to get faster, get you a coach. Because most people who are great, they got one. Okay? Coach, mentor, educate yourself, continue to learn. Right? From people online, from YouTube, from podcasts, from Instagram, from whatever. Right? Continue learning. And the more you learn, the faster you'll grow. Okay, hold up, wait a minute. This just in. I want to interrupt this podcast real quick to do a part 2, or not part 2, but let me do a follow-up. Okay, let me do a follow-up. So I went on throughout my day and continued working or whatever, and then I decided to comment back. Okay, I decided to comment back, And here's what I said, then I'm going to tell you what he said. This is crazy. This is going to blow your mind. Okay. So after he went all that and said, hey, to be outdone by someone with a camera and all that. So then I respond with, sorry to hear that, fam. Do you want me to help you? I can help you generate an income. Seems like that's the only thing you're missing since you understand the technical side already. So I didn't answer any of his questions. I didn't go back and forth with like who's better and all that. I jumped right into, looks like you might need help. Judging by your frustration, obviously. Seems like that's the only thing you help with. Business, money, like most people. And then guess what he responds back with? Of course, I'll take the help. I need it. I'm very proficient in the technical side. And that's it. The business, not so much. What we learn? In the comment, type in the comments what we learned from that. From that conversation, from the feedback that it was a journey. Wow. People out here hurting. They don't know how to like ask for help. So they much rather get frustrated. You ever seen kids that don't really know how to like explain themselves, so they get mad, take their frustration out on people like and do all this extraness? Well, they can just be like, why don't you just ask me? I'll just help you. You gotta do all that. All right, back to the podcast. That was crazy. Back to it. Wow.
And now back to your regularly scheduled program.
I'm done. Listen, y'all, I appreciate y'all for just listening to the podcast, man. I appreciate y'all. If you have anything to, just tell me how you feel about this whole situation. I'm gonna screenshot it and I may post it on my stories later. But make sure you just comment below. Just let me know what y'all think, or send me a message and let me know what are your thoughts behind it. How do you handle trolls? Like how do you do that? And outside of that, man, are you running your race? Have you felt yourself comparing yourself to others and feeling like, man, I should have been here already. I should be further along, right? We're all guilty of it, okay? We're all guilty of it. Me as well, okay? So with that being said, man, I'm done. If you're a photographer and videographer who is interested in coaching or mentoring, I have a coaching platform called Shooters Camp. Okay, you can go to www.shooterscamp.com and schedule a call. If not, make sure you are listening to the Shooters Podcast on all of your platforms, or not all of them, but whichever one's your favorite platform. So whether that's Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, whatever. Okay, or just watch your boy on YouTube. With that being said, make sure you follow your boy on IG, and see y'all later. Y'all respect the shot. I respect the shooter. We lit!